What's up everybody, my name is Valrith, aka Sinric, and this is going to be my vanilla Prot warrior guide for 1.12.1. When it comes to tanking, you only really have one job, and that's to soak all the damage while no one else takes any damage. A lot of people think it comes down to skill or something to tank, or as far as using your abilities, but that's not really true. You don't really have that many abilities in your rotation. The really tricky part is having the awareness and the preparation and the knowingness of what's going to happen and knowing your abilities and what's going to be best in what situation. You really have to know your class as a tank, and it's probably one of the classes that needs the most preparation in order to raid with them. If you want to play this class, I wouldn't suggest it if you're not all in, at least as far as PvE tanking goes. The next section I want to talk about is Mitigation. When a boss attacks you, there's a lot of things that can happen. The boss could miss, you could dodge, parry, or block, the boss could critically hit you, the boss could land a crushing blow. But a crushing blow is when a mob deals 50% increased damage to you. It can't crit though, and a raid boss level 63 has a 15% chance to hit you with this crushing blow, and it can never be reduced. When a mob is the same level as you and your defensive skill at its maximum, it has a 5% chance to land a critical hit on you. Raid bosses are counted as level 63, so they have a 5.6% chance to land a critical hit on a level 60 warrior with 300 out of 300 defense skill. So at a 440 defense skill though, you have 125 higher defense than the raid boss's weapon skill, which is a 5% reduction to their chance to crit. This reduces their chance to crit to 0, and this is what everyone calls defense cap. But really it's just a crit reduction cap, because the defense skill continues to give you dodge, parry, block, and reduces the chance for them to hit you, even if you go beyond 440. A miss is very similar to a dodge or parry in that you take no damage from the boss's attack. Together these three outcomes are called avoidance because it completely avoids the attack instead of reducing the damage of the attack like armor and block. The difference between miss and the other types of avoidance though is that a mob can still miss you if you're stunned or otherwise incapacitated. In order to determine what the monster's attack is going to do to you, the game constructs a table of 10,000 rows and fills it up with possibilities. If you have a 2% chance to dodge, then 2% of those 10,000 rows will say dodge. Same with block. 20% chance to block, 20% of the 10,000 rows will say block. Hit is always added last to these rows. Sometimes when you add up all the percentages for all the possible outcomes, the total is above 100%. In this case, there is a priority list. The highest priority outcomes are added to the table first, and then the rest are knocked out. For example, if the boss has a 6% chance to miss you because of defense, you have an 8% parry, 8% dodge, 8% block, it has a 5% chance to crit you, and then it has a 15% chance to crushing blow. That remains a 35% chance to just regularly hit. Now let's say you use shield block, which adds 75% block to the table. Now it looks like this. 6% chance to miss, 8% chance to parry, 8% chance to dodge, and 78% block. Notice that the block chance is only 78% even though it should be around 83% because the table can only go to 100%. You can't be hit while you have your shield block up, as long as you have the proper stats. Block value is the amount of damage that's reduced when you block. If you have a block value of 50 and a normal attack is going to hit you for 100, you're going to block 50 of the damage and you're only going to take 50 damage. The stat is determined by adding up all of your block value and all your items. Shields have a block value in white text on them, and sometimes it has a block value text in green. That just means it has an increased extra block value stat on it. Strength adds a little bit to your block value, but really not that much to be important. Block chance, of course, is your chance to block. It's affected by your defense, a shield enchant, the shield block ability, and a few other pieces of set gear. You can only block attacks against mobs that are in front of you, and you cannot block while stunned or incapacitated. You also can't block spells. Ever. Dodge is pretty obvious. It basically just gives you another chance to not be hit. You can only dodge attacks from monsters that are in front of you. NPCs and pets are able to dodge attacks from behind, but players cannot, and you can't dodge while stunned or incapacitated again. Parry is the same as dodge, but it reduces the time until your next auto attack by a little bit, which makes it slightly better than dodge. If you have a straight choice of one dodge or one parry, you might as well go parry, but the difference is really small. You can only parry attacks from mobs that are in front of you again. You can't parry while stunned or incapacitated. Each point of defense increases your dodge, parry, block, and enemy miss chance by 0.04%. It also reduces the chance of enemies to crit you by 0.04%. 8 defense increases your avoidance by 0.96%, so it is almost the same as 1 dodge or parry even when you are at the defense cap of 440. Defense continues to reduce your chance to be crit or hit while you are stunned or incapacitated, however you are still unable to block, dodge, or parry. The first thing I have here is the main tank build. This one's for people who are the main tank of their raiding guild, and it's really only used for raiding. The second spec I have up here is more used for 5-mans and for off tanks. It includes things like Piercing Howl, which really helps with corralling ads and whatnot. For the rest of the video, I'm going to leave up a rotation guide for single target, AoE long term, and AoE short term, along with a pre-raid best in slot and enchants. If there's anything else you would like to see in the future, maybe a guide or a video, please leave a comment down below and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you again for watching my videos, I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you on the next one.